The next team we are going to talk about within the AFC East is the New York Jets. So one of the moves they made was signing Gerard Davis to a 1-year, $7 million deal. But their bigger moves were getting Corey Davis.
Oh, my God.
Getting Carl Lawson. They also got Justin Hardy, who's one of the better special teams players in the NFL.
From the Saints, yeah, that was a come
And, about 30 minutes or an hour ago, they signed Keelan Cole and Dan Feeney. Dan Feeney can play center. He can play guard. He started for the Chargers, but I don't think he's a starter. He's more of a backup.
Okay.
But still, I think this was an okay offseason for the New York Jets. I like that they're not spending big money on players that maybe shouldn't be worth it. I think Carl Lawson is worth every penny. I'm glad they didn't give that to Hassan Reddick. But I think this was an okay offseason. I'll give them a B+ for this because they didn't make any dumb move. And I think Joe Douglas is spending right on these free agents.
You want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're a little more respectful than I was being. I mean, I gave him a B. I thought that was fair. I was teetering between a B+, a B. I just feel like they didn't spend any money that was unnecessary. I feel like the only place where they definitely could have gotten an A this offseason is if they would have brought in a Thuney or if they would have brought in a guy like Corey Lindsay. But then again, if you look at if they would have brought in Thuney, it would have cost them at least $90 to $100 million because he's going to play for a team that's not going to compete for a championship. Instead, he goes to the Chiefs and he signs for $80 million. And you look at Corey Lindsay, you can't be too upset at Joe Douglas for not bringing him in. He's had injury history already. And again, I mean, the Chargers I wouldn't say are championship contenders, but if you're going to the Jets who have a history of being, for lack of a better term, good, and they haven't been good for years now, I mean, you can't blame them for not getting these guys or, feeling confident in throwing money at these guys that...
I mean, not only that, but New York or L.A. I'm picking L.A.
Yeah, for sure.
If I'm
close your eyes.
Somewhere,
yeah.
I'm going L.A.
And the New York media is terrible.
I would only choose New York over L.A., and I'm being honest here, if it's to play for the Giants.
I just feel like we've lived here most of our life, so it's easy for us to say New York or LA. We'd probably go to LA.
No, but I'm thinking
and
just
it's
like
sunny
I think in terms of like the NFL landscape, players would much rather go and play for the New York Giants than the New York Jets.
Yeah,
because they have a history. Because they have a history.
But no disrespect to the Jets, but I think that's just how players would see it. But I mean, I think you're right in some aspects. I think getting Carl Lawson was probably the best move because we have needed an edge rusher for a very long time. And now having Carl Lawson, whose sack numbers aren't crazy, but it's because, it's not because he's not getting there. It's because he's just not finishing off plays. But now on the Jets, you got a guy like Quentin Williams, Fadakazi, John Franklin Myers, who are going to create that initial pressure. Carl Lawson is going to get way more sacks. I'm predicting he's going to have a double-digit sack season. And he was asked in his press conference, why did he come to the Jets? And he said Robert Saleh. So Robert Saleh and his scheme, he's going to emerge. And Gerard Davis, another low-risk, high-reward signing who had a lot of potential until Matt Patricia went and, messed everything up in Detroit. He's going to be, I think he'll have a pretty okay season. Corey Davis, I like that we got a receiver, right? I'm glad that our top name receiver that we signed this offseason wasn't going to be a Keelan Cole. I'm glad that Keelan Cole was the secondary guy. But Corey Davis, to me, while he had a breakout year last year, just shy of 1,000 yards, he's not an alpha. He's not a number one. And there wasn't really any number one on the market outside of Kenny Golladay that was actually free.
Okay.
So I guess this was the second best guy, but I worry about how he's going to play against the AFC East opponents.
Question, you're taking Corey Davis over Juju and Will Fuller?
Juju, 100%.
I don't know about Will Fuller though. I don't think
Will Fuller. I think I might take Will Fuller, but if we're taking into account injury history and stuff, I'll probably go Corey Davis.
Okay.
But AFC East opponents, he's going to be matched up with on the Patriots, J.C. Jackson or Stephon Gilmore.
That's rough.
Look at the Bills, Tre'Davious White.
That's bad.
You look at Miami, Xavier Howard or Byron Jones. Am I counting on
just
Corey
your division,
Davis
too.
to even win one of those matchups? I really wouldn't. So we have to hope as Jets fans that Denzel Mims is going to step up this season and Jamison Crowder is going to remain
can't
healthy.
Forget about him.
Even if let's just count your division, you could possibly play the Ravens and Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters. You could play the Browns and Denzel Ward. It could get really bad for Corey Davis.
Corey Davis is he's a high-end number two.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is a number one. Like, not a low-end number one, not a middle number one, not a high number one. He's just not that at all. So because of that, it kind of worries me. Mike LaFleur's system is a West Coast scheme, zone running scheme. We don't have a running back. Our best running back on the roster might be P. Ryan right now.
Probably going to draft one.
Yes.
And you're going to get one probably early second, too.
But we still need one.
That's for sure.
If we don't have a running game to open up the field for guys like Corey Davis or Crowder or Mims, I don't know how it's going to look. But overall, I think these signings were too good. We didn't strap ourselves too much financially. Mm-hmm. Justin Hardy, good special teams player. Dan Feeney, okay backup. So I just give it a B+ because we didn't go out and make dumb moves.
So are you okay on the Joe Douglas vibe yet? Or are you still thinking about it?
No, I am not okay with Joe Douglas right now. If you guys have been watching,
you're giving the Jets a B+.
Yeah,
you're giving him a B+.
Yeah, you're giving him a B+.
No, I know. I could give him a good grade. I don't have to be biased towards a grade.
Okay.
But for me, so I'll just say this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe me being hard on Joe Douglas is more based off of gut feeling than it is what he's actually done.
Okay.
But this is my gut feeling. I didn't like when he didn't re-sign Robbie. I feel like Robbie and Corey Davis are kind of similar. Not in terms of their game style, but in terms of how good they are.
Okay.
I can get the same production out of Corey Davis that I could get out of Robbie. Like, it's really neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
So why pay Corey Davis but not Robbie? Whatever, boggles my mind. Jamal Adams, I wish he would have remained a Jet.
Fair enough.
He didn't remain a Jet.
But you can't be mad at that trade.
I'm not mad at the trade. I'm not at all. We got good compensation.
For sure.
You weren't mad at the trade.
But for one, we're not sure what those first-round picks are going to turn into.
Okay.
And two, Joe Douglas, the reason why Jamal Adams got so mad, it was because Joe Douglas said he wanted Jamal Adams to be a Jet for life, and he never even initiated contract negotiations with Jamal Adams. So Jamal Adams really got angry because Joe Douglas kind of lied to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like a good GM doesn't treat their players that way, especially the best player, the heart and soul of the team.
No doubt.
Jamal Adams, say what you want about him, but in that locker room, he was the leader.
For sure.
So because of that, Joe Douglas, yes, he's made some. This is the first good offseason so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Last year's offseason was bad.
He came into a rough situation, but fair enough.
But last year's offseason was bad.
It was.
The draft, yes, he hit on the draft, even though people love to count hitting on a punter, hitting on a player, whatever.
Yeah.
Denzel Mims, Makai, and Ashton Davis were good picks.
Solid.
Ashton Davis is still yet to be seen. We have to see. People are trying to anoint him as like this great pick right now. Like we have to see. We'll see what he does this draft. All I know is that if he passes up on Zach Wilson at number 2, this draft is an F.
100%.
This draft is an F. I don't care if he drafts 5 All-Pro players in the next couple of rounds. If he doesn't draft Zach Wilson at 2,
you need Zach.
This is an F. But yeah, so far the Jets offseason has been okay.
But I want to say one last thing about Carl Lawson. I like that signing a whole lot more looking at Leonard Williams. The fact that, you guys traded him away, he had a good season, which definitely hurts. But I don't know if he's worth $21 million. So you know what I'm saying? You bring in a guy for 3 years, $45 million. I'll take that contract any day of the year, or any day of the week, over paying someone like Leonard Williams who broke out one season and is getting $21 million. So that's another thing to look at and think, you know what, the Jets made a good decision there.
Yeah, I guess, I'm saying I like the decisions that he's made. And somebody just pointed out the fact that Philip Lindsay could be a Jet. He very well could be because the Broncos are letting him go.
Oh, man.
Broke my heart.
Joel, he's in the chat right now. He also said that you need a top 5 wide receiver to compete with guys in the AFC East, the cornerbacks. And no doubt, I agree with that. But Corey Davis is not that.
No, he's not.
I like that we got an upgrade, but, I just wish that it would have been a better guy. Maybe being more aggressive towards Kenny Galladay. Maybe it just depends.
But the same thing, I'm sure. Not saying that the Giants situation is a whole lot better than the Jets. I think it is better than the Jets.
It's definitely 100% better than Jets.
You guys would have had to pay more money for Kenny Galladay than the Giants are going to have to pay for him. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to play for the Jets right now for some reason.
And that's why I'm not holding Joe Douglas accountable for not signing Joe Tooney.
100%.
Joe Tooney went to Kansas City because he wanted to play for a contender. That's really it. And if a player is choosing between the Jets and Chiefs, they're going to choose the Chiefs 100% of the time. If the Chiefs can match the offer or maybe even offer something a little bit less, they're going Chiefs. So because of that, I don't blame Joe Douglas for the offseason. But all around, I like it. Let's see what moves they make. There's still moves yet to be made. I know Jets fans wanted Juju. I personally don't see the hype in Juju. I just don't. I'm fine with Keelan Cole, honestly.
It would have been a nice class. You have Mims, Crowder, Corey Davis, and Juju. With Zach Wilson coming into his first year, God willing, hopefully. That would have been very firm. But then all you'd really need to do is focus on O-line for the next few years.
Juju Smith-Schuster stats the past 2 seasons. Last year he had 831
Wasn't good.
yards. 2019 he had 552. So
How many TDs?
But he was hurt that year before too.
he played 12 games though. He was not on pace to get 1,000 yards anyway.
Well, listen, Antonio Brown said that without him, he's nothing. He didn't lie. I'm not
To
saying
this point, it's been true.
But nothing is crazy though. He's just not a number one without Antonio
And plus,
Brown.
with
is
everything
fair.
Juju comes with the, I'm not saying athletes can't have stuff outside of football,
Yeah.
but Juju's TikTok, Juju's Twitch. I mean,
surprisingly, I don't hate that. Because you think about all the kids that haven't been playing football and they're trying to reach out to the younger crowd. He's reaching out to the younger crowd.
I get that, but I'm talking about just in.
Of course.
On a
On a mature,
if I'm a
too.
coach,
he's what, 24?
I think so. Like
I don't
23.
really want that in my
I think he
locker
is
room.
23.
Especially for the culture the Jets are building. I don't think Juju would really fit that.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
Overall, like I said, I give this offseason a B+. Joe Douglas, let's see if he doesn't mess this up.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
So now we are
24.
going to move on to the AFC West. I know some people are very excited for this
Let's
because
do it.
the charge
Wait, before we move on, let me ask: who do you guys think is going to win the division?
in the AFC East,
Yeah, duh. Gotta ask that.
it's going to be
I got the Bills.
it's going to be the Bills or the Patriots, in my opinion.
Listen, if Tua takes that sophomore leap, Miami
I
could
think
be
3 teams could come out
They
and
could
make
come
the
to they go
playoffs
to the Super Bowl.
in that division.
And that's what I said. I tweeted out. I said, Bill Belichick in 4 hours made more moves than Joe Douglas has made in 2 years.
It's
The
New England.
Patriots in 1 year
It is
have
New England. You can't
the Patriots in 1 year have really just kind of really. It looks like they're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
So the Jets, even with these good moves, they really might finish last again. Just not with 2 wins this time. They might have 6.
This division could have 3 playoff teams. Honestly,
It could. It really
The
could.
AFC East is getting better. It's getting really better.
not you guys, but
No, we're getting better too.
Yeah,
The Jets are getting better too.
100%, definitely.
I mean,
We
you
are
guys were
getting better.
supposed to be nice last season.
You're literally gonna be at the bottom of the league.
The Eagles
You're
are
with us.
The Eagles are a lock to be the bottom.
You're with us,
But the Eagles might be a lock to be one of the bottom teams in the league, though.
and you're
It
not
depends how
allowed.
the draft
No,
goes.
we're not.
It
How
you
depends
not
how the
allowed?
draft
Because
goes.
we're gonna get Zach Wilson.
Okay.
But Zach Wilson isn't going to be a surefire thing
like,
first
like,
season.
what's wrong
He's
with
gonna be
you?
a surefire thing.
First season?
Yes. He's
Rookie
gonna
of
have
the
a
year.
good- Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll see.
If he gets drafted to the Jets, yes, at
Okay.
100%.